Alright, welcome back. Back outside at my friend Lindsay's house again, next to her AC unit, but you could not hear it in the last video, so don't feel guilty about doing it again. It's probably only in the 80s. It's working on getting into the 90s. I'm starting to get hot out here. Spend most of the day in the AC. Reading Rivendell readers. I showed my last video that I bought a case, well, got a case of old Rivendell readers and bike quarterlies off of Facebook Marketplace for free skis. And I posted about that on Instagram too, and a customer, when he came and showed me his bike and dropped it off, had a few that he collected or found. And he came and gave them to me for free too. I got 3 more Rivendell readers and some old 1974 bicycling magazine. Oh, 1986. This one I thought said 1961. I was like, what? Since 1961. It's 1986 bicycling magazine. At least I was born by then. And an old Miata catalog. So these will be fun. I've already actually spent most of the day reading through them. But just I'm still on I'm on Rivendell Reader issue number 4. It's been pretty interesting. I've recently fell in love with these. I've always heard these are great. The Bob ones are great. I found them. I'm reading them. All the guys who wrote them are being brutally honest in a very kind of Hemingway sort of way. Their writing style is great. They're very interesting. It's really refreshing to read old stuff. Everyone's not trying so hard. Today we're going to look at my bag of swap meet scores. I took this big old bag with me to the swap meet. I got a big old grocery front basket on my Bridgestone shop bike. I rode that down there, and this was exactly the right amount of stuff in front of that bike. It was a little reserved. I didn't buy a few things I wanted. I did buy a lot of stuff, whether I should have or not. And like normal, we're going to go through them in reverse order since it's on the top of the bag, and I have not dug through the bag since the swap meet when I was wheeling and dealing, and people are saying hi, and people are telling me they got bikes they want to drop off. And I actually did meet 2 customers there. One that came before and went down there right before I did, and a couple that are coming in. 2 that were coming to my shop afterwards to pick up or drop off bikes. I talked to a couple of people who I need to go through my phone. I'm so bad at labeling people's phone numbers, emails and things, remembering names. One guy said he had a couple bikes he wanted to drop off. He's also got the best bike collection I've ever seen, a private collection. He was really good friends 10, 15, 20 years ago, back with the first generation, the first new generation of Portland frame builders, your Aherns and Maps and, I don't want to forget everybody, Huffnagels and stuff. Tony Pereira's, those guys. So he had everyone's second or third handmade bike. And a bunch of other cool stuff. I went to his garage one day on accident off of a Facebook post. He had some old 600 hubs for sale for $10. I'm gonna go get those, that sounds fun. And just put them on eBay for 40 bucks or whatever. And we went over to his garage and he had the best bike collection. He started showing me, and I'm like, dude, I have to come back with my camera. He's like, I don't want people to know where I live, I don't want to risk it. I'm like, no one watches my videos, and I'm not gonna post your address or the front of your house or anything. I just want to sit in the garage with my phone and just do the same thing, just point at how cool your bikes are and talk about how cool they are, and have you pull them down, tell a little bit of history and stories. So, he's half on the fence about doing that. I've been bugging him for a couple of years now about it. So maybe one of these days I'll have to buy a better mic with the 2 mics or something. We must have 40 just amazing mics. Very cool, rare stuff. Bunch of handmaids. It's so cool. That's neither here nor there. I'll try and remember to bug them when I go back inside. Aimlessly play on my phone for hours. So this was an old guy. He had 30 bucks on these. Wow. He kind of looked familiar. I think he'd come in Northern a few times. I was trying to look at his booth, and he started talking about these tires. I didn't really understand. They don't look like, anything too. They look fancy. They're folders. They're really light. But he said they're some of the earliest 650Bs. They're 650B 584 by 32 millimeters. So very skinny 650B. They're a road tire. They're not a rando tire. They're not super supple. They're not a mountain tire. They're an old 650B made in France road tire. Hetchins, Converde, Des 650. They're a very cool tire, and after he's telling me for them, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just looking at other stuff, whatever. I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. He's like, you should just have them. You might actually use them. They're cool. I said, thanks, man. So he gave me these tires for free ski. I was walking around, it's got a lot of new parts, and I was looking at his new parts, and looking at his used parts, and, you know, I piled chain rings, and I asked him, he's like, oh, chain rings are, you know, $10 each. I'm like, I don't want to pay that for them. I was looking, and then I noticed these. He had a lot of stuff all over his table. And I'm like, some old tires. They look like 650B road tires, and I looked, they're ground bois, they're Hetras. This was like a real nice tire before we could get any other nice tires. You know, Pan Racer makes everything for everybody, but Grand Bois in Japan was having Pan Racer do these nice ones with the more ribbed, fine tread, thin, no puncture protection, really supple sidewalls. These are the precursor to the Rene Hurst tire that are out available now. And I started looking, and I'm like, these are new. Is it a pair? And he's like, yeah, it's a pair. And they're brand new. He's like, yeah, I never mounted them, never got around riding them. So how much is it? All the tires here are $10 a piece except for these Hetras because they're brand new. Everything else is lightly used. $10 each. And because this is a matching pair and everything else is a single, it's $20 each, which is still an insanely good deal. I think if you order these directly from Japan, they're $30 or $40, plus you're going to pay like $40 for shipping. And you know, I'm a frame builder and I do all 650B stuff, and having a good set of cheap brand new tires I can put on a display bike or whatever is fantastic. A lot of real beat up old worn out Rene Hearses. So I got those. I'm really excited. The new bike I'm making, I was going to make it for 42s. I ended up making it for 48s. So I probably won't use them on that. So I'll buy some new tires for that. Probably use them on something. I looked around, he also had this one brand new Pasela. Everything else is like a skinny road tire. He's like, oh, I think that's at least a 28. I looked at it, I peeled it back. It's a 32. It's folding Pasela. It's brand new. I didn't even look at the logo. I don't know if it is actually Pasela or if it's, you know, one of the fair weathers or other things that Pan Racer made tires for. I wish it was a pair. I'd have been a million times more happy. But it's brand new. It's folding. It's one of my favorite, you know, commuter road tires. They're just fantastic and ride great. $10. $10. What am I at right now? $50. Found this little white, nothing special stem. Asked the guy $1. I have some white riser bars. I have like a white mountain stem I don't want to use. I got some white cranks. You know, collecting white parts. I sold the white wheels I had. Single speed wheels. I got a couple of frames with, you know, white logos and stuff. That would make cool single speeds or whatever. But I couldn't help myself for $1. Where are we at? I went to another roadie type guy, and he had you know, just a bunch of junk, and some of the prices were alright and some were not so great. And I found this Dior hub in the pile, and I picked it up, and I counted it roughly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18 and 18. So 36 hole black Dior 950 hub. It feels like it needs a... It's pretty smooth. I can hear the grit and the dust seal on this side. I have this black Shimano plain Jane glossy finish, matches the Dior pretty well. Front dynamo hub I got for a friend in trade like a year or two ago. And I keep finding weird Dior hubs in 32 only, so that dynamo hub's 36, this is the 36. I do have some 36 650B rims, but you know, maybe I'll go buy something on sale, buy something else cool and weird. I don't know why. I just wanted to match that front hub. The high cost of free, you know, you get a free part, then you need to build them a whole life around it. It seems like it has a lot of axle sticking out too. If somebody's modified it or taken a spacer out or done something weird. Only one way to find out. Oh, I think I only had a 5. I bought that stem. So I asked around, I dug around to see anything else cool. And he had these Shimano 600 brake levers. They're not particularly cool, they're not super nice, but they're not super scruffy. Hoods aren't sticky, they're all complete. He said $5, and we do 5 for the stem and the levers, and he said sure. You know, I hoard Shimano 600 stuff until I feel broke, and I put it all up for sale. Usually somebody comes by looking for Shimano 600 stuff real bad. I can almost build a whole bike out of it. Last guy came by, I had a matching set of wheels and the cranks and the length that you wanted and the derail. I've had literally everything and made like 300 bucks off some of those individual pieces to build a whole bike. Shimano 600 stuff holds its value. Let's see. And then I had a kind of friend's booth. He's a guy who's bought parts off me over the years. He's come to Northern a few times. He used to be really into vintage bikes. He finally got old enough, he gave them up. He's only got modern Thai gravel bikes and things now. I was starting to look around and he had a free pile. So I think I grabbed some stuff. I got like an old can of Brooks Proof Ride, which I don't have right now. I have a bunch of crusty old saddles and a ton of it. You have this chain ring. Oh, it is. It's an FSA 53 outer ring, 130 BCD. Pretty lightly used. No chainring scruff on the back. Looks fine. It's in this bag or in the box. That's cool. You had some other stuff. You have these cranks. There's black, generic, like probably take off of a Surly or something. No name, double. FSA cranks, 170s. Barely any lip on the back. This came on a lot of single speeds, came on a lot of doubles. This one, I feel like it was something else. For like, oh, maybe it was this and this green saddle. So this green saddle, made in France, it very much looks like a Chanel Uniconiter, but it's not. Recycled saddles, AOL.com. Maybe somebody made his own green felt top for it. It looks like a Uniconiter feel. It's probably, maybe it's an IDL. Some of the IDLs were that way. It's weird. It said, you know, 10 bucks for the cranks and the saddle. I couldn't say no. He also had these. I said, oh my God, how much? And he said, $3, one for each guy. So these, I'm not sure if these are knockoff or the original ones, but this is like one of the original bike toys, like little plastic bikes with little plastic riders. And some, like JP Weigel, I think every photograph he does of anything, you know, he has like one of these guys in the photograph too. It's just cool. I've always wanted one. I've never seen one before. I got them. We should take a look at one of them. So it's a little bike and a little bike stand and a little rider, a little hole in his butt. So he can sit on his bike. I don't know, it's cool. I'll put it on a shelf somewhere in the shop. Oh, this guy's got the yellow jersey on, his hands up in the air like he just won. Just finished the stage. These are probably reproductions or whatever. I think the original ones were like from the 30s. And here's a cool embossed pen, 10th anniversary. Coors Classic. Whatever, $3. Super cool. I'm such a winglet. I think these were on somebody else's table, or maybe it might have been someone's free pile. I got really excited. I just paid $25 for one of these. No, the one I got was an outer. So this is a middle TA Cycle Tourist ring. So it's got the smaller BCD. It's a 35, but I don't think it is. It's a very thick ring. So it's like a track thickness ring. And the lips have been wave machined down here, and the teeth have been wave machined down for 330 seconds. So this is really like track. It might be a tandem timing ring, or just really heavy duty. It'd be hard to shift that lower. Maybe this is considered the innermost ring. It is very thick. They're usually like 2 millimeters thick for doubles and 3 millimeters for triples. This thing is like 4 or 5. It's so thick. It's a 35 tooth. So this could be really cool on a one by. You can use like a dead outer ring, cut the teeth off, make it a bash guard. I got one of these that is an outer ring, but it's only 36. It is a tandem timing ring, and it is extra thick. Because I want to do like a one by with that, like a modern one by thing, but with, you know, vintage stuff. It's just always cool. So I think I paid $1 for this. This specialized 48 tooth chain ring too, all silver, vintage 80 specialized. Barely any shift wear on the back. Teeth look great. cool stuff for me. Oh, this was that thing. I think the same guy got that Dior hub from. This was sitting in his pile too, and I paid too much for it, but it was so cool. It was a 110 36 tooth middle ring for friction, or really I think it's a 1x for cyclocross with the correct outer bash guard, which I've gotten a zillion of these for like nothing from the Sunday salvage sales, but usually at 130 BCD. This is the more fun 110 BCD. So we got the 36 tooth salsa ring and the 110 BCD correct size fitting bash guard. $20. I usually get 20 just for the bash guard. I just sold one of these rings for like 35, I think. Maybe it was 25, but like a lot. I was like shocked it went without an offer, sitting up there for a long time. So $20 is, you know, I'll probably make at least double on that, or I'll end up using it on something because it's cool. This might look good on my sister's new bike. I got that vintage Mercy and then a 650V mod, and she wants all black parts. Put this 36 ring and bash guard on it. That might look really good, actually. Try not to put any more money into that bike, but boy, I'm sure gonna. I bought this, I think from the same guy who gave me those tires. It is the IRD CD compact double with their weird short-lived all silver compact front chainring or front derailleur, which is supposed to be nice or better for shifting compact chain rings. I always just use regular road front derailleurs and they don't shift that awesome at all, actually. So I decided to try it. It's the Brazon version, which is the way I like to roll, because you can buy any clamp you want for whatever frame to put anywhere you want. It's like a Shimano 31A clamp. I got a million of them, no one cares. 28.6 clamps I care, especially in silver. So I bought this, it was $10. I keep buying a lot of front derailleurs for full price. Oh, this is from the same guy. I couldn't help myself. The same guy I got the little dudes from, and the weird saddle and stuff. These are some weird vintage Diacomp. I believe they're inverse bar levers. And look at this, you have to drill a hole in your bar, it looks like, and bolt them in. That's wild stuff. Oh, and the cable routing's internal, so I'd have to do something real weird. This would take a weird bar. I'm gonna have to drill the bar and dimple it and chamfer it a little bit for internal cable routing to pop out for brakes. I don't know, they're weird, they're very old and Frenchy ripoff. I've never seen them before. I'm $10, whatever, dude, I bought them. Couldn't help myself. They're cool. And sometimes by cool, I mean worth money, and sometimes by cool, I mean something I'll never be able to sell and probably won't use and total wing nutty. makes me happy. Oh, the same guy gave me the tires. He had these two. They are brand new in the bag. I thought they were used at first. I'm like, oh good, a used set, because I want to use them for frame building and burn them, but they're brand new in the bag. I just checked. These are like $58 now. The price on this from VeloCall is $28. That was 10 years ago. At a price of 20, and I think I talked them down to 15. So too cheap, but they're Paul rack adapters. So this is a special bolt to hold your Paul canty style brakes, or any of the Paul center poles and canties, onto your post, and be able to adjust them and stick way out, so you can mount a rack off the front. They are so long, they stick out so far. They push like, you know, Nitto rack or something, it'll push like an inch out. You'll need to use a giant spacer at the port crown, using a recessed brake nut. It's a real weird way of doing something, but the only thing that works when you want to do Pauls, and so many people are bling bling drunk on Paul and Chris King and Phil Wood, and some of that stuff's kind of great, and some of that stuff's kind of terrible and really overpriced. But it's American made, but it's not. Yeah, it's a long story. I think a lot of it's just crap. A lot of it I've used, I'm like, oh, I'll never use that again. I never recommend that for a customer. Just get Shimano stuff that works. It's cheaper. It's probably better. But Paul's cool. Everyone wants that Paul stuff. Even though their brakes are all made for 90s mountain bikes that don't take fenders. They're from California. I was like, cool, I want to use a tire that didn't, a size so big didn't exist back then, and a fender on my rando bike. I'm like, they don't have that kind of clearance, bro. So this is great. This is a real good score. That'll be a frame builder tool probably. Oh, it's brand new in the bag. I might sell, but I hope not. Then the very first stop oh wait, there's one more thing I got from that friend. This insane, massive, giant, probably insanely expensive Starrett 1917 Louis DeBrich calipers. So this is so you can measure giant stuff. And you can hold this up to your ruler and get the correct measurement. Park makes a little tiny one of these for going through your spokes and measuring your hub. I really want to remake the Park one and figure out a way to do the geometry. So we have a little arrow and a little reader up here, like their chainring bolt spacer. So we can say 100, 120, 130, 135 right on it, so you'd know not to hold it up to a ruler. I think that would be a very cool tool that no one would care about. If you did one with all the modern through axle spacings and stuff, someone might care about it. Make it easier to measure that stuff, especially when the wheel's built. A hub's one thing, but you have to fish it through the spokes and you knock it out of tension trying to pull it out. But he said he got this because this thing was so big that you could measure a hub over a complete wheel. You just stick it all the way over, you don't have to go through the spokes or anything, and measure the hub and just pull it right up. It's so big, it's so cool. I'll probably hang it on the wall. It'd probably be too much of a pain to actually use very often. Oh, let's use it right now. Got this Dior hub. So you go lock nut to lock nut. So you're not measuring the axle, you're measuring where it would fit in the frame. So that should be, in theory, if held this up to a ruler, would be 135 millimeters. I've always thought this would be hilarious. I'm so cool. He charged me 20 bucks. I bet you if I sold this to an eBay or to a machine shop or something, it would be a lot more than that. But this thing would be hundreds and hundreds of dollars new. So that's cool. That is a keeper for sure. And what's left is my very first purchase of the day. Hey, look. I got half my Powerade left. I forgot to drink. So this is the very first thing. I walked up to this guy's table. He had just tons and tons of junk. And if I had a lot more money, I'd have spent a lot more money with him. First thing I noticed buried in the very back behind all the junk was little old Dura box. This is Dura 7700. It's my favorite stuff. I was hoping it was shifters. I pulled it out. I just took a quick look at it. Opened it. Looked inside, it looks like shifters, they look brand new, it looks complete. They got plastic on them, they don't look Mac. This kit would originally come with, shift cables and rear derailleur housing and the bolts. This is a brand new, in the box, new in box. Never used, no scruffs, no parts missing. In theory, somebody could have pulled this off and put it on a bike and put it back in, but in theory, new in box, Dura Ace 7700, 9-speed down tube shifters. The date is 11/5/2004. That sounds about right. I think things were started making these in like 99, 98. The original price is $34.95. Dude, I punched my best friend in the face to be able to buy these for $34.95. Oh, a little washer fell out. I don't think this fell out of the shifters. I can't imagine. Well, no, just throw it in here just in case. Can't imagine where it might go underneath the non-dry bolt. I kind of helped make these things popular again. I used a lot of these. We were making Northers. I scored a lot of new old stock Dura Ace and Ultegra and 105, 9-speed era, small barrel, thin hubs, silver derailleurs. I was buying the new old stock like crazy. I made these mad. These were going for about $100 back then. I was buying them for $100 on eBay. I was reselling for $2 in store. And now people who knew that I love these contact me all the time, like, oh, I have a set, brand new or lightly used, I want $300 for them. I'm like, go to hell. I told them I'll give you 100 for them if they're brand new or in mid condition. I just got another set of these. A friend of mine bought a bike, and someone had these on that bike. It was a Surly Crosscheck. She's like, oh, I hate down tube shifters. I'm like, I will put bar ends on this for you for free. New cables and housing. Let me keep those old shifters. She said yes. So I have a very lightly used set. Now I have this new in the box set. 35 bucks. I looked at them. First thing I did, I pulled it up. I'm like, oh, this says $34.95. You want to still sell it for 35 bucks? He goes, yeah, sure. I was like, oh, well, what do you want for other stuff? I started asking him stuff, but he was like real busy getting bugged. He had a lot of stuff. He had a brand new Brooks saddle on a brand new Thompson C-post, and every fool in the world was asking him. He wanted top dollar for that. I was like, ugh. So it was hard. He kept walking away. Other fools were talking at him. But I did ask him about these cranks. Get this Dura set, 175, good rings, used, but in, you know, real good shape. Inner ring's got kind of some shark finning, but not much. I took the bolts out, the tapers look good, the threads all look good. They're 175, which is looking weird. And his XTR cranks right next to him. And I go, what do you want for these? What do you want for these? And he goes, one of those Dura's cranks, yeah, I probably want $30 for them. And like the other ones are like $20. I'm like, okay, so I grabbed these and bought them on the spot. He walked away, I walked away, came back later. So I got these XTR, I think this is the M900, 8-speed, 175. Threads and tapers look good. It's got the inner ring with a stack of spacers, very weird. I feel like these are worth a lot more than $20. I think this is XTR is worth its weight in gold, little mountain bike nerds. So I probably bought them just to put them up for sale. They have that wide kick out. Too wide for me, man. I like them flat cranks. I like bringing my Q factor in low. Ah. And I said, nah, I don't know about the 30 on these Dura Race ones, you know. I gave them like 30 minutes. I came back, they're still there. I'm like, what about this rear derailleur? He's like, I want $50 for a derailleur. I'm like, get out of here. Not even on eBay, it was in mint condition and spotless. And he started telling me about how he runs a bike nonprofit. He's not really a bike guy. He runs a bike nonprofit out in Hillsborough now, much like the Community Cycling Center and other places. People donate all their stuff. So all the stuff is donated to me for free. I could sell it for kind of cheap. I'm like, all right. And I think I talked him down to $30 for the derailleur and the cranks. And it was only because I told him I already have the right matching hubs, which is true. And I dropped them off in the wheel builder, which is true. Stokes got them right now. I got some Velocity 650B Atlas high polish rims with these Dura Ace hubs getting built up onto. So the real problem with buying these now is I was going to use those wheels as bling bling frame builder wheels for fun. You know, put some real nice Rene Hurst tires on them. They're used and beat up and dead, but like kind of clean. And using my frame builder wheels. But now that I got the rear derailleur and cranks, I think I have a front derailleur. Now it's a little dangerous. Now I might want to use them. They're a little scruffy though. But still, put them on a used bike. Like I have that RB2 in really pretty good, barely scruffy condition that I sold a kid and he keeps not paying me for it and ghosts me. But I have that, I put all this stuff on that RB2, it would be pretty. I dimpled the rear end, respaced it to 130. Be hot with all those 8-speed Dura Ace. That last 80s Terry, I did the same thing with it. The Terry, not the Symmetry, which is the small wheel one, but the Precision or something, which is a normal, just straight up race bike. Tongate 2 tubes, I took a 27.2 seat post. I don't know, it was light, it was nice. Handmade in America by the Serrata builders. And I did a full 8-speed Dura Ace build on that with flat bars, Dura Ace stem, Dura Ace headset. I had all that parts. I think I have a Dura Ace headset for this too. Ouch. Had all the parts and did a Velo Orange stainless steel Big Pro Tour front rack. I rode it last summer and a little bit into the fall, and then I put it up for sale this spring. And someone bought it. I put it for $1,100. Someone actually appreciated it. Had some brand new Pacente 650 38 tires on, real low mile. I mean, if I put 100 miles on that bike, I'd be shocked. Only rode it in a sprinkle once, you know. It was real clean, all new stuff. I did the Dura Ace down tube 8-speed shifter. I put it onto a Thummy pod. It was pretty hot. I like that bike a lot. So I could do something like that again. I got that RB2, or I could make a bike. I got those weird biplane, old vintage biplane fork crown pieces, and those accidentally round Columbus fork blades they never pulled through the drawing machine or whatever. Disc blades that came totally round. Frame builder supplies all bummed about and doesn't even know what to do with them. I'm like, these are kind of hot. If people would want them, it's like, they're too small. Most round blades are at least 25.4. I'm like, not vintage ones. All the vintage ones are 22.2 or 24, and these are 24. They'll fit a lot of vintage crowns, and those biplane crowns I got are for 24 round blades. But they'll maybe take a 650 B42, maybe. Very tightly, no fender. They might do a 38 with a tight plastic fender, something on a lip. Maybe the PDW fender, I should measure that, like 45 in between. I could do a little filing on the fender, little half rounds, you know, by a few more millimeters on each side. That'd be kind of hot. Gray PDW, 650 Beast fenders. Those Dura Ace wheels. Stir Ace derailleur and cranks. Probably do it as a 1x, but I'm sure I could find some more Dura Ace 8-speed dummy shifters and put them on some palm mounts or something. I like the idea of a real fast city bike. I'd make a custom Portour rack for it too. Disc brake, Portour, finished Dura Ace, finished parts. Those Rivendell lugs I got are so hot. So that's it. So I'm what, 50, 60, 75 into that stuff. 85, 95, 110, 115, 120, 130, 140, 150. I think these rings are all free. 160, 170, 180. This went way faster than I thought. I probably should have put the other video. 180, 220, 223, including the free rings and free tires. So it's pretty cheap for a swap meet. I was planning on spending a lot more. There's a guy with a new old stock Strong-Light headset I want really bad, and he was talking to him about meeting me there, and he doesn't want to, and he might drop it off later. I've been messaging for months on Craigslist. I'm like, dude, no one else wants this. No one else is going to buy this. You're asking more than they cost on eBay to sell it to me. Give me a deal. He was up like 120. I think he's down to 90. I keep offering him 60. He keeps saying 80. I'm like, if you deliver it for 80 bucks, I'll probably do it. Oh, I forgot another score I got. Oh my god. I got so many scores I forgot. On the last video, I should have put it on that video. A guy was coming to Made, and he had some beater Campinova record wheels, some beater Campinova record cranks that he turned into a single speed, so a single speed freewheel on the back, just the 42 inner ring flipped around. He wanted 50 bucks or trade, and I said cool. And he showed up at my shop and he dug around, and all he wanted was some old mountain bike cranks. I just took them all home from eBay or whatever. We dug around with my crank family, found one set of scruffy Dior 7-speed era 110-74 mountain bike crank. The logos were off and everything. Said, cool, trade me for those straight across. I'm like, oh. It was amazing. I have a crusty old frame. It looks like it's from the 50s or 60s. It might be the 70s. Can't read the head badge, can't see the logo. It's got chrome, it's got V pinstriping, it's got patina everywhere. And oh, the bottom bracket with the cranks too. So I got an Italian Campy bottom bracket. I got the cranks. I got the hubs. They have mismatched rims. I'll probably rebuild them onto something else. The front feels all crusty. You'll see. The rear feels like $1 million. Front Campy hubs are basically free. A dime a dozen. They come with all sorts of stuff. They're low flange. No one cares. So I might do a crusty. It's going to be a 700C bike. So God, I might just use the mismatched dented up wheels and not even care at first. Might rebuild them and go crazy. So I got some good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, I was gonna say there's another guy who I was accidentally looking on Craigslist, and it popped up an ad from Seattle, and he had some TA Cycle Tourist cranks, just polished silver ones, you know, from the 60s or 70s with a decal. Decal's a little rubbed off. They had the more modern TA rings that I think it had 4226 compact double, and 120 bucks for them, with a J. Stein TA crank puller, which are 60 bucks by themselves, I think now. She said 140 for everything. I said yeah. I asked if he's coming down to Made. He said yeah. He said we text each other. I told him I was super busy. I'd be at the shop from this time to this time. I'd be at the swap meet from this time to this time. Back to the shop this time to this time. I never heard from him. So worst case, maybe I'll message him again. And he said he'd mail them, but I'm like, cool, I'll buy them, but not sight unseen. Like, send me some pictures in the thread, send me some pictures of tape set, take some quick cell phone photos and send them to me. He hasn't yet, so we'll see. If I miss them, no big deal. I have another set of TA cranks. They need a little polishing. They could probably do a little fine rub. You can get like the semi-chrome, like a toothpaste tube, but just do that with a rag and buff it. It's clamp it in your park stand and buff it. And that stuff will take stuff that was once high polished and this kind of dull and bring it back to like really nice, pretty nice, like, you know, 8 out of 10 nice in just a couple of minutes of buffing. So I might I used to do a lot of custom polishing, storing vintage parts and custom polishing stuff for customers and for our Northern cycles, and custom polishing all my stuff before I sent it to Chrome. And I don't have any polishing setup. I don't have a desire to do it. I like polished stuff, and it's a miserable job. So I might do that, but I might just semi-chrome them. So I have a set of those. I have a reproduction set of decals. I don't have rings I like. So I have that. I just got those Stronglight 489D cranks on this new bike that someone dropped off to me because they want some goodwill. So they can ask me lots of questions and bug me a lot. Maybe trade for some other used parts and stuff. And then the other guy from the last video who brought just a couple boxes of his old stuff in, I dug through and bought some stuff. He said he had a giant box of old French stuff he didn't care about. He'd come sell me pretty cheap, and he said he thinks there's a couple sets of those 489D cranks in there, maybe some other stuff I want. So I got that fish on the line too. But anyways, that was my swap meet. It was at Balleric. It was over 100 degrees. They had a lot less vendors because it was hot in the maid show. So they actually fit the whole thing inside, which is nice. It was a little thin, but lots of people had great stuff and prices were good. And honestly, if I had a couple extra $100, I spent like every cash dollar I had, bought a slice of pizza on my debit card. If I had a couple more $100 in my pocket, I probably would have bought a lot more stuff. And right when I first got there, I was starting to try and dig tables. People were just coming up and talking at me. Oh, nice to see you. Oh, I want to bring a bike by. And I'm like, let's talk later. I'm in digging mode. Get me all the scores. So I bet I missed a bunch of good stuff. And then I had customers waiting for me. I was going to meet back at the shop at 12:30. Luckily, they were there and having pizza. So they didn't care. They waited for me because my pizza took forever to come out. But if I had more time, I'd have done a second pass. I'd have bought some more stuff. Rayanne from the Bike Recyclery website. It was lots of vintage parts in mint condition. There's some scruffy stuff too, because you get some scruffy stuff. They were there, and man, they made the pass before me, and they had a tub of stuff under their table, and it was all cool vintage campy stuff. They said they made a killer deal on. Just got pennies on the dollar, gorgeous stuff. And one of the things was a campy seat post with a IDL 42 saddle on, which is not one I'm familiar with. I think it's maybe a lot cheaper one, but it was in really good shape, and it was black. Like, I want that saddle. Like, yeah, I'd probably sell a saddle, I don't care. So I was talking, I was like, I do have that one 650, Rand has a lot of weird 650C stuff. So I got a fairly decent set of 650C wheels. And Rand's like, only if they're mint. It's like, they're not mint, but they're not bad, they're pretty nice. So I'm gonna send pictures, and maybe I can swap these wheels that I have 20 bucks into for this saddle. They'd probably sell me for 60 or 70 bucks otherwise. And I'd probably use it because the French IDL and every vintage French IDL set I've ever had, I loved. I hate every Brooks I've ever ridden. I hate them. They're so uncomfortable. I don't know if people like them. IDLs are so nice. Even pros who are paid by Brooks usually raced on IDLs and just put like a Brooks saddle cover on for photos and stuff. That was a thing back in the day. But that's it. That's my scores, man. That's it. It's hot. I'm not really looking. I've checked Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace like 10 times in the last 24 hours. I'm not really looking for more stuff, but I'm looking a little bit. To go back and read these magazines and playing with these parts. Oof. Mwah, gorgeous. I got that last swap meet a couple months ago. I got a set of the Hetras in white, very used but very low miles. I paid $10 for the pair. So one of these sets I'm actually on my sister's bike. I'd rather put cheaper tires. I do have some 650B Panther Salas in good shape. They look like they're brand new, but the logos are all rubbed off somehow. Maybe those would be great for her bike, really. But God, now I want to put these on a show bike. God, now I want to build that narrow crown bike and just run the 650B 42s and just have rubbing those fork blades. There's a vintage bottom bracket shell. Use some all-around rear stays. Could probably do that with very small dimples. Maybe. It's probably a lie. The reason why I switched to oval blades and bottom bracket shells in the first place is because it's like impossible to 650B 42 tire and a vintage road bike with round stays. Like, it's probably a lie. I was doing it by like bending the stays a little bit and Philip raising the bottom bracket so I could put them slightly bent and miter them off and put them all the way on the outside and stuff, like trying to play every millimeter. I switched to a magic bottom bracket that no one knows about that I buy from a rare source in England. That is oval, but still standard size tubes. Every other oval bottom bracket shell I've ever seen ever is for oversized tubes only. So if you want to build 1-inch threaded bikes with vintage lugs, you're kind of boned. Vintage tube sizes. But anyways, that's my video. Thanks for watching. I'm sure I'll have more exciting stuff coming up better soon. Should probably do a video on how to pull strong light 490D cranks off. That'd be fun. I think I've done one like that. I don't know. I'm gonna do it.